All right, man, we back with another deep topic, another deep conversation,
Another episode.
another episode of the John Bobby Verbino's show. Okay, all right, what we got for him today, Cal?
All right, we gotta talk about the Joes. Both of the Joes. Um, been a lot going on in the news about both Joes. Joe Rogan and Joe Biden, to be more specific.
Okay,
Which one you want to go over first?
let's go over Joe Rogan, man. You know, Joe Rogan, man. He been that dude.
All right. Well, he's been in the news. First, it was they said he was giving vaccine misinformation. Then, I think it was a musician, Neil Rogers, I believe it was, said she's pulling her music. Since then, other artists have pulled their music.
From Spotify?
Yeah, from Spotify.
But he don't own Spotify, right?
Nah, he's just there. They said that they're hosting somebody who giving misinformation. But aside from that, all of a sudden, the compilation of him saying the N word over the course of maybe a decade comes out. It seemed like a little bit of a hit piece, but it was him on the. I mean,
Didn't like somebody put a hit out on him?
yeah, like a media hit piece, maybe politically motivated.
Stuff was 12 years ago. It was 12 years old.
Is that so?
Yeah.
Well, it was him
From what
saying
Joe Rogan said.
Yeah, well, he since apologized. Did you hear the apology?
I heard the apology.
Did you think the apology was sincere?
Yeah, sound like somebody that, they don't want to lose money behind having conversations that, it could be jokes or could be talking. They don't want to lose no money. I don't think he mean it to someone personally. I think he was probably talking shit. I think a lot of people talk junk and probably say the N-word and they, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think that?
I think he was dropping M-bombs very loosely. I think things can be taken out of context. That's why most people say the N-word. They don't just say the word. Like, you know what I'm saying? And there are some publications, media outlets that had a policy that they didn't want to sanitize what somebody had said. So if somebody referred to somebody as an N-word, they didn't want to sanitize it, so they would actually say it in that context. But since then, they've changed policies like that on a lot of media outlets. So Joe Rogan has since, I'm sure, changed the policy. But yeah, they had a compilation of him saying the N-word. But I could maybe get over him saying the N-word in the context that wasn't being derogatory. But did you catch the part where he told a story about going to see the movie The Planet of the Apes, and because it was a black neighborhood that he wound up in, it was like he walked into the Planet of the Apes. So I guess he's saying that black people are monkeys, or he said that the Planet of the Apes wasn't even set in Africa, so it wasn't as if the setting was in Africa, where he could have maybe got a pass on that. He immediately said that it was a racist thing to say. So I mean, like, what do you think he should be canceled? You think he's a racist?
I mean, I think he said something out of his opinion, out of what he's seen, and it offended. It's gonna offend some people, but he was just speaking his experience and how he could relate it to anything else. If that was true, or if he was just joking or trying to make it funny. However,
he admitted that he was trying to be funny. He said he was trying to make a story more interesting, and he thought that was a funny joke.
And that's why I see it at. That's why my opinion is kind of like, because I understand what great marketing can do for your pocket. So people go to the extreme to try to put great content that'll make noise. Because if me and you ain't gonna talk, if we're not gonna talk about it, if we're not gonna have no talk about it, like, man, you heard about this, it's really nothing, right?
I think he could have made a very entertaining podcast without making race jokes.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna make them, they need to be extra funny, because if they're not.
When we was growing up, you get people talking about your mama, race jokes. I mean, it really comes down to
some things is kind of off limits. White people, or somebody who could be, he's Italian, but he's perceived as white. They've assimilated into white in this country. it's a bad look for you to be making jokes about black people being monkeys. You see them as monkeys. Then there was actually another clip where there was actually a clip where they had a biracial dude on there, and he was like, "Oh, so you got the best of both worlds, like the body of a black man, but the mind of a white man." You know what I'm saying? So Joe Rogan was to say, like, that's the best of both worlds. Like the white mind and the black body is the best. To say that we can't be the same as white people intellectually, it didn't sound good at all. And I think it just made him look real bad. And you know, I think that he's like maybe a good guy. I've watched the podcast. I find some things that he say to be interesting. I disagree with a lot of it, especially the COVID stuff. I don't know if he's an all-out racist. I don't even think that's the question we should be asking. You know, is he racist or not? I think we should just be asking, like, how racist is he? Like, on the scale from 1 to 5. Because, like, think about it. Everybody's racist to some extent. You don't grow up as a white person in America and none of he might have some implicit bias going on there, you know.
I mean, if you're talking about racist as they don't like you or they won't hire you.
Maybe he sees black people
like
as an inferior race or something like that. I think he might have a little bit of that. I don't know. But when you talk like that, it kind of feels like that. And then he's influential, you know?
I mean, I just can't see by him saying the N-word where I
didn't say just the N-word.
Oh, just the other thing.
I'm saying the Planet of the Apes stuff. Right. I'm saying the best of both worlds because the dude's biracial. He said, oh, it's cool that, you know, we could play the clips.
Right, but it's somebody white. But I get what you're saying, but he gave a positive, even though it was, you know, it made to blacks it made me seem like we're smart. I mean that we're not smart, but he said the body of a. I mean that's what he thinks. You get what I mean, or maybe it was a joke. But I'm saying he already said that he likes to say things out of proportion to get people for attention, right?
I don't remember him saying that.
No.
He said, he said he was trying to make a story more entertaining.
Right.
So he dropped the race joke. Yeah, I don't think that's appropriate.
So I think that with him trying to gain more attention by making it more intriguing, he's going to say things that are just alarming to people that make it, you know, that's what I think he does.
And you think that's okay?
No, it's not okay, but I mean, it's how you take it. You know, if I'm taking it as that. So I'm like, okay, I'm okay with hearing it. You know, I'm not gonna, you know, but anybody else is probably like, yeah, I don't want to be hearing jokes about the race.
So, you know, on a scale from like 1 to 5, you know, 5 being like a Klan member and one being like somebody who's just, you know, sees everybody as equals and stuff like that. Just where
no races at all. Like they not.
Yeah, no,
I don't think.
Yeah,
I think only
Joe Rogan on that scale. What would you say? Like, because you want me to answer?
Go ahead.
I think he might be like at a 2 or a 3 level because I don't think that I think he has black friends or stuff like that, but I think that he believes certain people that he might have been sold on some kind of pseudoscience that would convince him that maybe black people are on an inferior level intellectually. Like, I think he's the kind of guy that would fall for that. The way that he fell for a lot of misinformation in the past regarding the COVID stuff, the type of guests that he has on his shows, I think that deep down inside, like, he did feel like black people are monkeys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think now that he's gotten some backlash, he might have had time to revisit why he might have said some of those things, some beliefs, why that was insensitive, why he should say things like that. Maybe he don't feel the same way, but yeah, I'll give him like a 2, maybe 3 on a bad day. Like that, I give him that, you know, but that's regular shit in America, you know what I'm saying? So I never thought that he was just you know, perfect.
Right.
You know, his show has a lot of conservative guests. He got a lot of conservative talking points. And that, the racism stuff, sad to say, a lot of that a lot of times that's a package deal. It comes with conservative views.
Yeah,
it's just part
comes
of it.
with the game. Yeah, you gonna be looked at. I mean, we gotta be honest.
Yeah.
We look at most people that. How many? What do you think is the percentage of racists? Let's get to that point. If it's 330, how many?
Can we get to what on the scale of 1 to 5? Where do you see?
Where do I see him at?
Yeah.
1.
You don't think there's no racist
I mean,
bone in
I
his
don't
body?
have
Like,
no.
okay.
Because I'm saying that I compare my 5s to guys like.
I put the scale there. I said 5 is like Ku Klux Klan. You go into meetings and everything like that. You feel me? Like that's where a 5 is at. You know what I'm saying? You're burning crosses and lawns. You know what I'm saying? You are all out white supremacist. 1, you don't have a racist, cell in your body. You know what I'm saying? Where is Joe Rogan on that scale? Well, I answered. I say he's about like 2, 3. Yeah.
I mean, because I have to say something you've done and what do you stand for. I don't know what he pledges. If he don't pledge none of that, but he said that, and how he is, and he don't stand on none of that business, but it's some people that...
Well, have you watched a lot of Joe Rogan's show?
I watched I'm not a Joe Rogan fan.
Yeah.
I can't tell you that. I catch a few here and there, but I'm not...
So is it safe to say you don't really know of Joe Rogan enough to make a fair assessment on whether he...
Right.
Okay.
But I can...
Because it seems like you ain't want to throw a number there.
He don't stand... Because I feel like anybody I throw a number on there, they have to stand on certain type of...
What about the comments about the Planet of the Apes, the N-word compilation?
I can't...
None of that bothers you?
I mean, it don't, because I can't... You got to be on a certain... like how you feel like it's a stance, cause like he apologized. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But like you said, it is people that's undercover. Yeah, they don't want to be public about it, but I feel the ones that stand on that, like they like, yo, look,
I said it. That's just what it is. I don't care how you feel. Like that'll be a different level.
That's a different level. I say that's a 2, 3. Like
okay. Well, I gotta give him 2. I can't say that he don't got none of it. I say 2 is like an implicit bias level. Maybe he slipped up and said some racist stuff, and he didn't know it was racist until we called him on it. Like, oh, that's how me and my friends joke. My bad. I ain't know. Like, I think he that kind of racist. You feel me? Maybe 3 is a bit much. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 3 is a bit much. I think 3 might be, standing on it. Like,
you gotta stand on something.
You know what I'm saying? So he ain't really, but he has had some scientists on there saying some pretty weird stuff. And did you know that they removed 113 episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience?
Here we go with Spotify, man.
Yeah, they
may be. Listen, this may be the real target. We may be looking at Joe Rogan and everybody saying Joe Rogan, but it looks like it's because didn't he leave somebody to go to Spotify?
Look, if they got to shoot through Joe Rogan to get to Spotify, that's what it looks like they're doing. They say, look, if you hosted them, we coming at you too. You get them out of here. Spotify has already. They said they pledging to spend $100 million on marginalized people content or something like that.
Oh, like different people's content.
They're trying to give back. With the whole Joe Rogan debacle.
Right.
Yeah, that's how they're gonna rectify this. That's. I'm not mad at it.
Right.
Yeah, pay us, man. You disrespect the set, then you should pay up. I'm just joking. But yeah, I mean, if they sat Whoopi down for 2 weeks, you feel me? The least, take some of the episodes. Something need to happen, and something did happen. Do you think it was right to take the episodes off there?
I mean, where did he leave before Spotify?
He was on YouTube before that.
He was on YouTube, so then he signed that big money with Spotify.
Yeah.
So now, doesn't he have somebody else trying to offer him some more money?
Yeah, he's been offered $100 million over the course of 4 years by a company named Rumble. It's a lot of right-wing content is on there, and Reuters.
This is where I think the game coming from. So I think that a lot of people don't like the way he left and went to Spotify. So. Is money in it. All right, somebody else is offering him another $100 million. So now, can he breach that contract with?
Exactly. That's a good question. I think that is just promotion. We just gonna offer you some shit. You locked into a deal with Spotify. Spotify said they standing by you. You know what I'm saying? Canceling Joe Rogan is not the answer. That's a quote from Spotify. So they're gonna ride with him, but they quietly took some episodes off of, and you know what?
Could Joe Rogan be in on it? Think about this.
No, do you think Joe Rogan's in on it?
I'm thinking about it like this: is a money standpoint. I just got $100 million from Spotify. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm with you.
I got $100 million from Spotify.
Okay,
all right.
right.
Now, if they somehow breach me or breach my contract with you guys, that where I can't, or people are banning you, people are saying, "Hey, I don't want to deal with Spotify anymore." And if you can get out of this contract, you can go get another $100 million.
How does that let you out of the contract? Because people like cancel their Spotify subscriptions. How would that let Joe Rogan out of the contract?
He ain't gonna let him out of that. Yeah, he's gonna be stuck.
Joe Rogan's probably getting good money, man. Who's to say that he wants to be out of a contract? This is just
Spotify.
some company offering him $100 million over the course of 4 years.
Right after all of this, right after Spotify,
because that company hosts a lot of right-wing content. So what they're signaling is, look, if you want to say the N-word all you want, we ain't gonna bother you over here. That's what they say. Look, you can get as wild as you want.
Mm-hmm.
But they had an episode that was removed from Joe Rogan's playlist with Kyle Kalinske on there. And Kyle Kalinske was criticizing Saudi Arabia. They took that episode off that too. But it was later, according to Kyle Kalinske, he said that he discovered that Spotify is going to expand to Saudi Arabia. And when you expand like that, you got to talk to the government. So they took a guy over there who's saying stuff that could very well be true, but just because it's critical of Saudi Arabia, they took that off there too. So they're covering their tracks in more ways than one. It ain't just about it gets deeper than Rogan, but yeah, this is what companies do. If you say something reckless, we gonna edit it out. We might have to take some things down. I mean, this is what happens. Do you think he's being canceled?
Yeah.
You think he's being canceled?
I think it's something behind the scenes where it's a lot of money that can be transpired. It's just $100 million just been thrown around too much, that where it can't be no it can't be no greedy people around. So it's like, okay, he got $100 million from Spotify. They offer him another $100 million, and with this company. So we'll see. I mean, we'll definitely see how it plays out. But
I mean, we'll see how it pans out. I think he'll be all right.
Yeah.
I think he'll be all right. I think most of the people that watch him are not going to be offended by what he said, and he apologized for it.
Right.
He seemed all right, like semi-sincere.
sincere.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm not really tripping. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say anything that surprised me. You know what I'm saying? And I think that people were right to react. And I like to see boycott activism. I like to see somebody kicking up dust about something and bringing a big corporation like that down to their knees just because somebody did something that's morally wrong. I think that's more what the world needs. So if they got spanked a little bit because Joe Rogan was talking out of his mouth crazy, then so the hell be. Yeah.
Well, speaking of morally wrong, let's get into what we got.
Joe Biden? You want to get into Joe Biden?
Yes, we got to get into Joe Biden, man.
All right. So the headlines that we all saw were Joe Biden is spending $30 million to give out crack pipes. How did you react to that when you saw that? And where did you see it at?
I seen it on Instagram.
Okay, on Instagram.
Yeah, I seen it. I said, man, this can't be true. But the people that I seen sent it was like, they ain't credible to send no kind of information like that for me to really think.
Yeah.
It was like, this is real political. No political people that I follow. It was the other end. You know what I mean? People that ain't really political, but they see something and it's like, wow. So that's why I didn't believe it I ain't checked the sources or anything, but
Yeah.
do we have? Is it valid? I mean,
Uh,
could it be true?
I mean, there's gonna be a grain of truth
In everything, right?
in most things where it comes to the media, because you could take a one grain of truth. It's just like I'll give it to you like this. It's a wildly misleading headline, in my opinion. Right?
Yeah.
It's just like if they said caught on tape a man touching underage girl, right? And then you look at the tape and it's like a father and a daughter and he's teaching her how to ride a bike. Not doing anything appropriate, but if you title it like that, it's like, why do you have to? That's how that is. You know what I'm saying? The program is about reducing harm. This is a guy, Joe Biden. Remember, he had to do with raising minimum mandatories, penalizing people more severely for selling crack than cocaine. He had a hand in that. Now it's like he on the other side of the spectrum. They're actually treating drug abuse as a disease, like we should, and reducing harm. Just like we heard about earlier, there was a needle exchange program where they were giving people safe needles.
Yeah.
I don't really think that's crazy. I don't think it's a bad thing, but when you characterize it like that, it gets people talking, and that's why the right wing Republicans, namely, they're really good at messaging. There wasn't a lot of truth behind that. Like the program, like the requirements for the program, it's like 20 different requirements, and only one of them has to do with pipes. And by the way, you don't have to just smoke crack in those pipes. It could be for crystal meth or anything. But that's only one small part of that, and they blew that up to make it seem like that. But that's what the Republicans are good at. They're good at messaging.
Right, because he's back in the headlines. Think about this. He's back in the headlines today, like
for crack.
Biden. No. He's back in there saying, they're saying that Biden slams "Don't Say Gay" bill a day after Ron DeSantis signaled support for the Florida controversial Florida legislation. So it seems that they made it a bill to where you can't say gays. I'm gonna get to the point, okay? Joe Biden spoke out against a Florida bill that banned discussion of sexual orientation in schools. The White House took a rare move in denouncing the legislation to make a statement. My administration will continue to fight for the protection and safety you deserve. President Joe Biden on Tuesday offered support to LGBT students while speaking out against a Florida bill that would ban the discussion of sexual orientation and gender identity in the state's public schools. Besides the crack pipes, I think that's a little bit more. How do you feel about that?
I don't really know that much about that.
Okay, well, let me put it like this to you then. How do you feel about everybody being genderless around the world right now? Like, we can't, like, we don't have, like, we don't say it's male or female. It's like, no, we're not doing that. Well, they're trying to do it with the kids in school right now. But
is that what you took away from what you just read?
Yeah, no, not us. I'm saying for the school.
No, but did you think that that's what they're saying with that article?
I think that the LGBT community is trying to make it so kids don't want to see themselves in a no gender way.
Okay.
I'm going to give you an example. This is why, because when you see a male walk or you see a female walk, body positions, you can tell certain things. And I think what the LGBT is saying is we don't want, like they said, no gays. What they said, don't use the word gay.
I mean, you tell me. I mean,
right.
You enlightened me. I thought you was putting me up on game.
I mean, I'm just going from what the top points was that they said. Okay, so Joe Biden spoke out against the Florida bill to ban discussion of sexual orientation in school.
Yeah, he spoke out about a bill to ban.
I'm with Joe Biden. I'm with Joe Biden on this.
Like what? So what are we supposed to act like? What? He's just saying that we should be able to talk about sexual orientation.
I'm with Joe Biden on this part.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Like, he's just fighting the bill with saying that he's want to protect the people to be able to classify themselves as a gender, kids. So he's still pushing that for us. So he wants to have genders where it's a male or a female, not to where we don't associate nobody with.
I don't think that's what they're saying. I don't know
No.
a lot about this, but I think it's about sometimes those on the right, they don't want us to talk about gay people at schools. They don't feel like that's something that kids should be talking about. Joe Biden's probably like he's speaking up against them trying to ban that discussion.
Right, gender
we should
identity.
be able to talk about gender identity. Yeah. I think it's good for kids to know about reality, to know about things that are true. If gay people exist, they should be able to learn about them. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. Nobody. I never said that. But what Joe Biden said he's fighting over is my administration will continue to fight for the better protection and safety you deserve. But they said here, the Florida bill that would ban the discussion of sexual orientation and gender identity in the state's public schools. So just ban the gender identity. You know, like on the bathroom signs where it's male and female. It's like no gender identity. It's just we're going to school. We're all human. The human race.
I don't think that's what they're saying. I really don't think that's what they're saying.
Okay. All right, so let's get to the what we got out of the crack pipe. So, like you said, it's
you brought this up. You feel you jumped off the crack pipes. You brought this up.
Yeah,
do you agree with it? Do you got a problem with it? What?
I'm with Joe Biden on this, man. I mean, I feel like he's right.
You with him?
Think that people on this, I met him on this topic.
All right. I think I'm with him too. You know,
right.
I don't know that much. I thought you was gonna put me up on it. You know what I'm saying? What's really going on with it? But I don't think they're trying to take the labels off of the bathrooms. I don't think that's what's going on.
No, man, no gender identity, man. No gender identity.
Man, see, you know, I could give a lot of fair criticisms on Joe Biden. He said a lot of stuff, but I'll say that lately he been getting a lot of unfair criticism. A lot of messaging on the right wing. They're better at messaging, so they're doing good at convincing people that things are his fault that really don't have that much to do with it.
But can you remember a president that didn't get flack? Like what president that you remember that was like, yeah, this guy, like everybody stands on this guy, like everybody's with him. What president would you think that was? That didn't get flack or wasn't, you know, because I remember with me, I mean, I've been through Clinton, I've been through Obama, Biden, Trump. What's constant is I heard about the Clinton with, with all of the stuff that he had. It's like all of the bad stuff, it's in the forefront with our presidents.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to talk about everybody.
Right. So it's like, how much of that, though, should we really focus on the negative of them? Or what should you think, being in politics, that you know, what should you mostly be focusing on? Because it's a lot of negative. Think about it. It's like they always saying negative about the president. So it's like, now, how do I distinct from, all right, I ain't finna worry about this negative because I need to be more focused on this?
I get what you're saying. That's a good question. I think what's most important is their policies for me. I don't really care about somebody's personal life that much. I think sometimes if you do something that's really shady, it could make you look like an overall dishonest person. But when I'm looking at a candidate that I'm gonna support, it's if their policies line up with my values. That's what I'm most concerned about. Policy and their values. I don't really care about, you know, if they, like you brought up Clinton. The Hillary thing, I mean, the thing with him and Monica Lewinsky and he was married, that didn't really bother me that much. It didn't seem like it would take away from his ability.
Did he get impeached for that?
I think
he
got impeached, but not removed from office. You know,
yeah, that was crazy.
They, raised the question. Yeah, he got impeached, but Trump got impeached twice.
That's what I'm saying. So my point is, I feel that some people could get beat up so bad by the negative that it's like, dang, can we have a structure that where we can really see someone for who they is and not for all of the they try to throw into us, like, you know.
I think you gotta really be a savvy media consumer. I think for one, you wanna. How it was told to me is you want to have a foundation of epistemology, in philosophy. You want to have an understanding of those two things, and then you want to read books. Mm-hmm. Then you want to read articles, and you want to make yourself knowledgeable so that when you're consuming information from the internet, you could tell what's true and what's false, So if you're not really trying to get a good understanding, if you're just judging by the headlines and stuff like that, you might be easily led astray, So I think the best way to cut through the bullshit, trying to see what's game, what's really just marketing, what's just appearance, you got to get a better understanding of politics. You got to get a better understanding of history. You gotta just start somewhere. Read a book and have that as a foundation before you just believe in anything that's on the headline. Because if we were going by the headline, we'd be thinking that Joe Biden is spending $30 million on crack pipes. Right. And that's what a lot of people is thinking right now. Even if you look at that Shade Room article, now it looked like at the beginning of it, they had somewhat of a retraction or something. Like they cleaned it up a little bit. Wait a minute, I might can pull it up.
They cleaned it up a little bit.
Since we on Joe.
Because they are, people do stuff for attention.
That is true.
I mean...
That is true. I mean, that's the thing you got to know. You ain't supposed to be getting no politics from the damn Shade Room. The Shade Room is in the getting... The Shade Room is into getting clicks. The
Shade Room is to talk about gossip.
Well, yeah, and it's not to give you a real sense of what's going on. It's what is going to grab the most attention. So that's what's most important with them.
Well, I think it's most important with everybody who's in the media.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I prefer independent journalists. And sometimes when you go with that mainstream media, it is servile to the people that they buy advertisements from and corporations and stuff like that. So, yeah, sometimes the message is skewed a little bit. I'll give you that. But, that's rule number one. Like, how we was talking about how to see through the bullshit?
Right.
First things first, don't get politic news from the Shade Room. if you go get something from them, you need a second source, the third source. Compare that, because that might not be the best source. I can't even pull up the article.
You know what? That's cool. Because I got another one. Yeah. Before we close out with them, we got another great topic that we gotta hit this topic while it's hot. We gotta have this. I got some questions I gotta ask with you. Brian Flores. Okay. Brian Flores. Now, I've been sitting with this information and sitting with it and thinking about it. Then I got a better view on it.
Okay.
Well, my view. Okay, because when I first heard this, I'm like, damn, man, Brian.
Well, for those who might not know, what's going on with Brian Flores?
Brian Flores is suing the NFL, the Miami Dolphins, the New York Giants, and the Denver Broncos, claiming of not letting him be able to get a job because of with the Rooney Rule. So it's a race with the Rooney Rule. It allows everybody to have to give an interview to a minority candidate. Okay, don't have to be black. Have to be a minority.
It's a rule that if somebody wants to be a coach, if they're going to interview white guys, they got to interview a minority too. That's what you're saying.
Yes, they got to interview a minority. So he feels that he was taken advantage of throughout his coaching career. Yeah. Because when he got hired from Miami, he's stating that the owner tried to pay him $100,000 for every loss so they can get a great quarterback in the upcoming draft. Mr. Flores didn't want to do that. He feels like he's a stand-up guy. He don't want to do that. He don't want to knock his record off. And he said that's when Mr. Ross labeled him as hard to deal with. Where like, because he didn't want to do that. Yeah. So this is where his lawsuit is stemming from. Yeah. Now, my point is that I look at that and understand, let's say it was true.
Yeah.
Let's say Mr. Ross was like, yeah, listen, man, I need to get this quarterback in the next year's draft. And I'm going to pay you, man, $100,000 every loss. Listen, we could turn around the team for this. And, you know, you hear the fans. They saying, tank for this guy, tank for this guy. So I'm going to offer you money to do it. And then Flores goes and says, no, not doing it.
Did he say no? He's not doing it?
Yeah, he said he's not doing it. He's not going to disrespect the game of football. Now, I respect Flores for that. I'm going to look at this I'm going to give you both sides. I respect Flores for what he's doing. But then I understand the business in what Ross is doing. It's his team. He's got something he's trying to do. Anytime you're working for somebody, you know, nobody wants to be hiring somebody that's going to feel like they're going to run it like it's their shit. They want someone that's going to be like, hey, workable. You know what I mean? Agreeable. Like, hey, man, this is what we trying to do. You down? Nah, man. Now, I respect somebody being stand-up. That's why I see it on both sides, right? Like, even if Mr. Ross, what he's saying, and Ross did do that, and he did say that, to get the best quarterback that they tried to get the next year because the team was sorry. He like, yo, look, let's just tank it this year, bro. Let's just tank it. This is what these NFL teams be doing. They be tanking, and then they get the player and we build in. If he had this conversation with with Flores, and Flores was just like, look, man, I can't do it, man. I don't stand on that. I got to win, bro. I can see how it could go this way, and I can see how Ross would feel how he feel. You get what I mean?
I think so.
Like, I didn't get my good quarterback. Like, damn, the quarterback is in the Super Bowl now. The same quarterback that Ross wanted him to tank for is in the Super Bowl this year. You get me? So now when I read and I look at this and I understand, okay, if you would have did exactly what Ross said, what would have been happening now? And kind of made business sense. Ross a good businessman. You know, he's a billionaire. I'm pretty sure he does good with business. But I could see Flores' point of view too. I could see both of their sides. Now, I don't think it's no wrong person.
You don't think anybody did anything wrong?
No. I think Flores, if he should have did it different, he didn't understand the game. You know, he don't understand. It's like us coming up with something. We don't understand the game until, like, it's too late. And I think that's what it was for him. But now he's like, yeah, that would have been the best decision. But, you know, I stand on wanting to win, you know. But the NFL is not like that on the top. They got to lose to win.
Is that against the rules to pay people to lose games intentionally?
Yes.
Okay, so he didn't want to break the rules. And because he didn't want to break the rules, they got him out of there.
I don't think, I'm not going to say that he's going to say that because he didn't want to break the rules. Ross said that he was a hard person to deal with.
Yeah,
But do you understand where he coming from, though?
I don't know. It seems like you cape it for him a little bit, you know.
I'm just saying.
Like I'm a little bit familiar with the story. We'll go back to the Rooney thing because you said a lot, right? With the Rooney Rule, it says that you have to interview minorities for the job. You can't just interview white guys for coaching jobs.
Right.
Now, the controversy with that was he went on an interview to get the job at another organization before he got to the Dolphins. He gets a text from Bill Belichick saying, yo, I got the word that you're the guy. You know, I talked to him and he's like, well, I don't know. I didn't hear nothing like that. I'm paraphrasing. But he's like, I didn't hear nothing like that. He's like, nah, man, I got the inside scoop. It's you. You the guy. He's like, well, you know, I hope you're right, coach. Appreciate that. And then Brian Flores was like, you sure you texting the right Brian? And Bill Belichick was like, oh, my bad. And he's texting another Brian, the white
Belichick
guy. Brian
probably don't even text Brian Flores.
Okay,
like
but look, so that's what he's saying. He's alleging that they got around the Rooney Rule by giving him an interview, even knowing that they were going to hire somebody else ahead of time. So they're telling him, making it look like they're deliberating, but he already got a text from Bill Belichick saying that he knows who the guy is that's going to be while he's waiting. That's number one. Now, the other claim that Brian Flores made is that he was offered $100,000 to basically lose games. You admitted yourself that's against the rules. It's just showing that he had integrity. He wanted to do the best job that he could do. And then what was even more cynical about that, or like, you know, sinister about that, is they were firing guys for losing games. So they'll pay you the $100,000, right, to lose games, and then turn around and say, we firing you because you're not a good coach. And it was Hugh Jackson.
Hugh Jackson
who stepped up.
Now listen,
and said that, look, they offered me money.
He got paid. He took the money. No, look,
Okay.
because he stayed there for 4 years.
Yeah.
So he tanked the team.
Okay.
Went there for 4 years, but he got an extension after that too. He stayed there for a good number of years, and they probably knew he was gonna be gone anyway. But if he wouldn't have agreed to take that money, he wouldn't have been there for 5. I mean, he wouldn't have been there for 5 years.
I don't think that's right, and I think that it's good to expose it. How many times have we heard that football games is fixed, it's rigged? And
It is. I mean, not as far as it's rigged from when people want to make decisions. If a new quarterback is coming out, and I'm an owner, I want my franchise to have a top quarterback.
I understand all that, but at the end of the day,
that's where it's rigged at.
Yeah, no matter how you want to dress it up, they said we gonna pay you to lose games. If I'm watching a football game thinking that these are two teams competing to see who can do the best, no, it's really one coach trying to lose on purpose so he could get another draft pick. That it destroys the integrity of the game. It's not right. That's like the mafia guys fixing basketball games, the shit we seen on 30 for 30 and stuff like that. It's wrong, and I'm glad that Brian Flores is shedding light on that. And I don't really think it's defensible. I wouldn't want to be on the position of like, I kind of see their side of it. I think they was being greedy. They was cheating, and they got caught.
That's these people. Listen, if we don't start your own league, because this is their league. They started this league. They got
either get down with the program or start your own league.
Right. I mean, you can't be. I mean, that's how I say. I feel like they're gonna play games. These are billionaire guys. $32 billion, and the NFL works for them. So they playing their game however they play it. If they gonna offer people $100,000, hey man, lose so I can build a better team and my team could be worth more money. It just comes with the game of playing with money and be having people with a lot of money.
You know what comes with the game of playing money?
Mm-hmm.
Getting sued.
Yeah.
So we gonna see how it shakes out in court.
It's Brian Flores versus 32 billionaires. Remember that.
Look, we'll see how it shakes out. I think it's going to be very interesting, and we're going to see who steps up.
Brian Flores versus 32 billionaires. Like people say in the NFL, he's fighting against 32 billionaires. So that's like, you know how long that money is? Like, they're going to make sure it's going to be a hard battle. Listen, he's doing this thing. He's fighting. It's going to be a hard battle for you to, all of these rich guys that can basically do what the hell they want. You get what I mean? In this kind of world, you're gonna have to damn near strike. You're gonna have to get players
if everybody
had to strike.
I'm gonna tell you, if everybody had your attitude, they'll be getting away with this kind of shit forever. You know what I'm saying? We need more Brian Flores's. He's stepping up.
I'm not saying he's wrong for what he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say that He signed up to be in the NFL. You wanted to be in the NFL.
He didn't sign up to cheat.
No, I'm not saying. No, I ain't telling him to cheat.
Right.
I'm just saying there's certain things that these guys want or that they, want to do with the stuff that they own.
You talking about cheating though?
What?
Right now, you're talking about cheating. You talking about it's certain stuff. When you say that,
If I was in Brian Flores' position, I would have took them 100,000.
Yeah.
I'm saying he's a good guy. Look what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm saying I would have understood, right?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't my league. I got hired. Okay? So my job is to do the best that I, from what you need me to do. That's what I'm going to understand that. Because I understand what I'm getting myself into.
Well, there you have it.
I mean, I don't think he wrong for not standing up, but I'm just saying I understand that this ain't I only can be in a certain kind of place, you know what I mean? So
right.
But that's just me. That's just how I feel. I don't feel like he's wrong. I don't feel like Ross. Yeah, Ross, they are doing they taking advantage just like anybody in that position would be wanting to take. You know how greed people is. If you flip anybody that's had money, I'm pretty sure they'll be doing stuff like that. But it's gonna be some people like Brian Flores that's gonna have the integrity. But they're gonna get shitted on because these other guys are. Do you get what I'm saying? So now it's about feeding your family. Like I want to see Brian Flores be able to feed his family instead of going after this, you know what I'm saying? But hey, that's what he's standing up on this. But it's their league, and if you want change, we're gonna have to go on strike, boycott,
or maybe sue people.
Sue people, yeah. But they got that covered up though. That NFL is a shield. They got that, like you're suing the NFL, which is it means it's 32 billion owners, billionaires. I mean.
I guess we got to see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
I mean, if he got good facts, that 32 billion might not be enough. He might have good facts in his case. We've seen crazier things happen.
Yeah, we definitely
We've seen crazier things happen.
So, hey man, we gave y'all Joe Rogan. We gave y'all Joe Biden and them crack pipes.
Yeah.
We gave you Brian Flores and Ross. So, that's pretty much the most hostile stuff going on. Would you agree? Anything else you would want to
That's pretty much all I got to say.
Pretty much all we got to say.
Gave enough.
Yeah, we gave y'all enough. So listen, on the next one, man, y'all let us know what y'all want us to go over. Okay? Let us know, man, and we'll catch y'all on the next one, man.
Yeah.
Peace.